Welcome back to the RIU Good Oil Conference in Fremantle. Today we are joined by Russell Curtin, EY Oceania oil and gas leader, who will provide an insight into the oil and gas sector. Welcome, Russell.
Thanks, Colin.
Russell, what is the current sentiment in the oil and gas market?
Yeah, thanks, Colin. It's an interesting question. Right now, I guess what you describe it as is cautious optimism. We do a lot of talking to our clients to understand their views of the market and what might be happening in the short term for them. And I guess that the feedback we're getting is that there's optimism in the local and global economies, and that's set in a scene whereby shareholder demands and boards are really looking for cost control and efficient use of capital. So what we're seeing is that the M&A scene, we think, will re-emerge in the short term, with approximately 30% of the companies we spoke to expecting to do a deal in the next 12 months. Now, within that though, there's something really important for the good oil market, and that is that of those deals, companies are expecting that those will be below, I think 3/4 of the companies we spoke to said the deals will be below 500 million. That suits this market well. And also those deals will be more bolt-on or incremental rather than transformational. And the final thing that really suits this market, because three-quarters of the companies here have international acreage, 3/4 of the deals that people we spoke to anticipated are in emerging economies or frontier acreage.
What do you see are the key opportunities for oil and gas players?
Yeah, so I think there's a really interesting opportunity for the good oil market right at the minute. The lower level of deal activity in recent years has led to I guess you'd call a build-up of stock of assets amongst the bigger companies. So I think those bigger companies are going to look to, in terms of efficiently managing their balance sheets, move those assets on. So we anticipate that a stock of assets will be coming to market.
What are the three top risks for oil and gas companies over the coming year?
Yeah, so again, with reference to the good oil market, like I've said, 3/4 of the companies here have international acreage. In terms of that international acreage, there's a couple of risks that spring to mind immediately. Those being managing regulatory compliance, that's a big one. In other countries, the rules are different. Staying in touch with those rules and making sure they're managed when they're out of arm's reach can be particularly difficult. Secondly, managing fiscal terms. Again, the regimes are not familiar. And finally, I think possibly the third risk is properly understanding the cost structures in those countries.
What are the traps for young players in investing internationally?
Yeah, well, I think it's all about getting back to basics. When we look at recently completed transactions that our clients have entered into, when you look at a key source of dissatisfaction, that often comes down to we just paid too much. It's all in the purchaser's control. But other reasons for dissatisfaction are unforeseen liabilities, underestimating cost structures, and these are matters that are all, again, within the purchaser's control. They could be covered by good due diligence. So I think the main thing is proper planning pre-deal and proper integration post-deal.
Russell, could you provide an overview of the EY Oil and Gas Division, please?
Yeah, sure. So Ernst Young is one of the major service providers to the oil and gas industry around the world. We audit many of the super majors. We audit 76% of the companies on the Australian Stock Exchange, and we provide a full range of services, including audit, as I've discussed, tax, transaction and advisory business consulting services. So in terms of the things I've just been speaking to, particularly around proper planning, we work with a lot of our clients initially in the tax planning and structuring. We talk to those risks. It's critical that you get your plan for success. Your structure, your tax structure and your regulatory compliance is well thought through before you make the investments to avoid unwanted outcomes later on in the piece. And then beyond that, we have a full suite of M&A through transaction advisory services, professionals, economics, through to business consulting around IT, supply chain. and finance performance improvement.
Russell, thank you very much for your time today.
You're welcome.